Hey y'all. So, as you already know, we have a super powerful full moon that is coming upon us on August the 19th, 2024, in the sign of Aquarius. And at this particular time, along with the full moon, the energy in the skies are bringing forth chaos, tension, struggle, just thickness, and not necessarily bad, change and transformation and sudden shocking events, all of those things. But we're going to talk about why this full moon and all of those energies at this particular moment in time is doing what they're doing. We're going to talk about those details, tease it out, and describe how it's going to be affecting each and every one of you based on your sun, moon, or rising signs. But first, before we even get into that, let's talk about what a full moon actually is. So a full moon is an opposition between the moon and the sun. And sometimes we can categorize oppositions as challenging energy. It really just depends on what sign the sun and the moon are in, and do those signs or their ruling planets, do they play nicely? Right? So you have the sun and the moon sitting across from each other, giving us our full moon. And in full moon energies bring forth with it a burst of energy. A surge of energy that energizes us to move and to do things, to make action, where we didn't before. So if you had a desire to change something, if you had an idea, if you wanted to do something, and you have a full moon hitting it with its burst of energy, you're going to move on that thing. But full moon's energy is so unrefined, is so unprocessed. It's kind of chaotic in itself, because it's just new and it's just a burst of thing. Although it has an energy of bringing things to fruition. It has an energy of bringing things to light, but it's still untamed because we haven't had a chance to sit with that energy and direct it in the way that we want it to do, and to bring about what we want it to bring about, because it hits us so suddenly. Now, what's special about this full moon and all of its glory, bringing its energy with it, it's going to be very close to us. And so this is why it's a super moon. A super full moon happens when the moon is close to us. So we feel its energy a bit more potently, right? Because it's closer to us. So we have that going on. Not only do we have that going on, we have some other challenging conversations in the skies, or challenging conversations between the planets that are happening in the skies. And I call it conversations because it's easier to kind of convey exactly what's happening. And so if you think about it, think about yourself when you're having a conversation with your best friend, or you're having a conversation with somebody that you get along with. The energy is easy. You're passing ideas, you're laughing, you're keying, and everything is all good because the energy between you and that person, or between you and those people, if it's a group of friends, it's all good. But imagine the person that you don't get along with at work because they always got a snide remark. They always are too critical. They always are very nosy. They always are, you name it. They're doing something that just rubs you the wrong way, or you're doing something that rubs them the wrong way, and the energy between you is just not good. Or every time you get in a room with somebody, you have it's argument, it's frustration, it's, you know what I mean? It's just not easy. And so I like for you to think about it that way, because this is actually what's happening in the sky. It's not the easy conversations that's happening. It's the ones that are hard. It's the one that brings intensity. It's the ones that bring the challenges and the struggles and the conflict. That is what's actually happening. And that is, those conversations are being energized by the energy that the moon is bringing. So what are those aspects or those conversations like that are happening in the sky? Number one, we have oppositions. Number two, we have squares. So oppositions aren't necessarily bad, but they do bring intensity, and it depends on how those planets actually gel or not with each other. So an opposition is the planets standing directly across from one another, right? So like the sun and the moon is directly across from each other. The moon is going to be in Aquarius and the sun is going to be in Leo. That's 180-degree opposition. So we have other oppositions that's coming along. And so oppositions, all of these conversations in the sky, they beg certain questions. And so oppositions, you want to know, the first thing you want to ask yourself when you figure out, is this going to be an opposition, is, okay, what is the level of intensity going to be? Is this aspect bringing balance? Is it bringing challenge? Do these planets get along? Is it a you scratch my back, I scratch your back thing? You do for me, I do, like, you know what I mean? Like, we get along? Or is it going to be a fight? Do they just not mix like oil and water? That's what you need to find out what's going on. And this is what we're going to talk about. The other type of conversation that's going on is the square. And the square is a 90-degree aspect. It's a hard angle. This is a full-on battle, okay? A full-on battle is bringing tension, it's bringing struggle, it's bringing conflict. And the questions that you should be asking when we're having squares is, what is the solution going to be? Because you have to figure out the solution. Like, what is coming up that's causing this challenge that I have to solve? Right? Also, what squares do is they force you to ask the question, where do I find my strength in this? Right? I know there are certain challenges that I have gone through, and I didn't even know that I had the strength that I had until that challenge, that conflict, that struggle brought it out of me. And so that is what the square is going to do. So it ain't necessarily bad, in my opinion. I'm not going to say I like, because it's not always comfortable, but the squares with the challenging energy that it brings, it always brings the aftermath, is the staying power of what that challenge is unearthing, right? And so when you're having a square, you want to ask yourself, who am I now? Who do I want to be, or who will I be when this challenge is over? Right? And that's all about how you're going to solve that conflict, right? So what is the challenge trying to teach you is what you need to be asking, right? How can I dig deep and find my strength? Okay. And so, yes, people are talking about, oh, you need to go hide under a rock. You need to be scared, and you need to do. No, you don't need to do that. You need to be brave, right? And so people, yes, they're going to be not acting like themselves. You might not be acting like yourself, but if you're informed, you need to check that. Like, you're here and you're having this conversation with me right now. If you feel yourself being irrational, you need to check that shit. You need to calm it down, right? So what I'm saying is, understand that the energy is going to bring about irrational behavior in people. It's going to bring shocking things out. Things are going to shock you. Right? The energy might want to take something away from you, but no, if it takes something away from you, that thing that is taken away from you, it don't serve you, and it's going to replace it with something that will, either immediately or eventually. Okay. But it's your job to figure out what the energy is trying to move you toward. How are you going to do that? By asking yourself those questions that we just asked a few moments ago, right? And so to become a better you got to figure out what these challenges are actually trying to bring you, right? It's the challenges, it's the struggles that teach you your strength. It shows you the depths of who you are. It rips layers into you. And no, it might not always be comfortable. comfortable, but you know what? You do become better. And right, without having those, you will never know who you can be. You never know what you can accomplish. So welcome the challenges. Welcome this energy. Know what's going on so that you can use it to get to where you have to go. And understand that whatever experience it brings you, your whole being is going to know why you will or you won't do something, why you will be with somebody, why you won't, why you will do that job, why you won't, why you will put that business in play, why you won't, why you will have that relationship, while you won't. And guess what? Every single last fiber of you, because of the experience that the challenge is bringing you, is going to know why you will or you won't. And I always tell my son, when you have an experience that moves you in such a way, your toenails, why you know why you going to do something and why you won't. So welcome this. Don't hide. Be brave. Right? There will be heightened emotions, but keep your composure. And you know what? The composed is always in control. The composed always win. Just be prepared. And this is why you're here, because I'm preparing you, right? So if it's raining, you want to have your raincoat, your rain boots, and your umbrella. If you're going to be stepping into battle, you want to have your spear. You want to have your sword. You want to have your shield. And you want to have your plan. You want to have a strategy, right? Because you can't win without a strategy. All right. So what are some of those challenging aspects that are happening? We're going to be having on August the 18th. So I'm going a couple days. The new moon is actually going to be on the 19th. So we got to get into what the energy is doing on the days leading up to the full moon, because like I said, the energy from the full moon is energizing all of this stuff. And you can feel the energy from this particular full moon at least a week or two before and a week or two after. So on August the 18th, Mercury is moving into Leo, and it's going to square Uranus in Taurus. And Uranus is all about, it can be all about chaos. It jostles you. It's all about shocking. It's about rebellion. It's about all of those things that's unconventional. It's about the freedom. It's about the split. It's about breaking things apart. Okay. And Mercury is squaring that. So Mercury right now is actually in retrograde. So Mercury in retrograde is like, this is another thing. Like, this is another layer of the conversations that's happening in the sky. Like, with Mercury being retrograde, it's an element of things from the past coming forward, right? And you're going to probably learn something with regards to where it touches in your house that you didn't know before. You're going to have a piece of information that you didn't know. It might be shocking in a good way or a bad way, for better or worse. You're going to find out. Okay. Then, the same day that it actually squares Uranus, Mercury is going to join the sun. And sometimes we say that when a planet joins the sun, its power can be turned down because it's being burned by the sun. We call that being combust. But in this case, it's far enough away from the sun where it's going to be getting good shimmers from the sun. It's going to be getting highlights. We call this a cazimi. This is auspicious. This is luck and opportunity. And so that information that you actually might get might be the information that you need to make the move that you need to make, the one piece that was missing from the puzzle, the one thing that was hidden from you. So you might learn something that's like, yeah, okay, I got this. All right. So you can make a move to becoming a better you, right? By having that information. Now, on the 19th, the next day, we have Venus in Virgo, and it's squaring Jupiter. Now, that may not be so bad because Venus and Jupiter are what we call benefics. They give gifts. They bring us good things, right? And so Venus rules our money. Venus rules our love. Jupiter just gives blessing on blessing, and it expands everything that it touches. But in this square between the two, it might be like, okay, it's showing you where you overdid something, because Jupiter expands something. So in love, Where are you allowing things to fly that probably shouldn't fly? Where are you sweeping things under a rug? Like, how long have you actually done that? Or how long has your partner allowed you to get away with some stuff? Right now, you just might not be able to get away with it. Okay. Where have you overspent? If we're talking about money, right? Where have you overdone your beauty treatments? Like, you need to slow down on the Botox. Quit with them lip injections right now. I'm joking, but I'm saying, like, Venus rules beauty. And so Jupiter squaring Venus is showing you, like, you OD'd, you overdid it. Chill out. Okay. And in the same day, Venus is going to oppose Saturn. And so that's not necessarily good, because Saturn is we call Saturn the taskmaster, but I like Saturn is like that teacher that has the ruler that sticks their finger out. No, you need to get back in line. You can't do this. Saturn is the parent that enforces the rules. And so if you got out of hand with your Venus, with Jupiter squaring it, then Saturn is going to come into play and have you put boundaries back in place, like fix things. Like now you're going to have to pay the piper with regards to wherever you OD'd, you overdid some things. And it's a fast moving aspect, so it's not going to stick around for too long. But if you fucked up, then Saturn is going to get you back in line, and you're going to fix whatever you messed up with regards to that Venus Jupiter conversation. Okay. And so that's what I wanted to say about that. Now, child, the biggie, we're going to have, like, we have a T square. We have a T square. So I want you to think, we talked about the opposition between the sun and the moon. The sun is in Leo, the moon is in Aquarius. And then, like, imagine if you drew a line from the middle of them, and out at the end of that midline of that line that you drew from the middle of each, like, you have Uranus, and Uranus is what we call T squaring, like you draw in a T, right? So Uranus is what we're saying is T squaring the moon. It's T squaring the sun. Ooh, child. Now, we talked about Uranus being what it embodies. Like, it represents, Uranus wants to give you freedom, for better or worse. It wants to free you from, if it's not serving you, Uranus is going real quick. Uranus represents lightning, shocking, action, disruption, sudden, wake up, shake up. It's the wake up, shake up. Okay. And so with Uranus squaring, it's trying to bring you something, or break you away from something, so it can bring you to something. Shockingly, surprisingly, abruptly, and quick. Okay? Abrupt is the same thing as quick, but you get what I'm saying. And it brings chaos with it. You know what I mean? Or it can bring chaos. I mean, it might bring you something that have to make you move quick, but it's something that you actually wanted, right? So before this actually happens, let me back up a little bit. So you have Uranus is in Taurus. The moon and sun are in Aquarius and Leo. We talked about that, right? Lord. We have another big aspect or conversation that's happening. And this conversation this is usually not a good conversation. And this conversation is the square between Jupiter and Saturn. Jupiter and Saturn, they just flat out don't like each other. I mean, not for real. Because maybe they like each other. Maybe they do, but this ain't real. This is not a good conversation. And so Jupiter is in Gemini. And Jupiter is in an air sign. And in Gemini, it tends to be all over the freaking place. Yes, Jupiter expands everything that it touches. It want to give gifts. It wants to do all of those things. But Gemini is an air sign. And so it's all over the goddamn place. It's everywhere. There's no structure to it. It's like, and it can be blown out of proportion. Okay. So then you have Jupiter squaring Saturn. And Saturn is like, oh, hell to the no. Like, that Jupiter kite is not going to fly. Okay? No. We need order. We need order in the court. We need boundaries. Are we following the rules? Like, you giving all of these gifts, you allowing all of this kite to fly. Like, what is this affecting? Right? Is this causing chaos? Have you even checked to see how given this thing is going to affect everything else? No, you haven't. And so we're going to put structure to this. That's what Saturn is doing. But before this square even happens, and it's happening on the same day as the full moon, Lord have mercy. It's being energized by the full moon. So it's even bigger than what it would ordinarily be without this energy giving it that boost. Let's back up a couple days, though. Now, on August the 14th, we had Mars going into Gemini. Now, Mars is like, Mars sets it off. Wherever Mars goes, like it's going into Gemini and it's conjuncting Jupiter. Mars is triggering Jupiter. So Jupiter is already expanding. It's already doing what it's doing. Imagine it being triggered by Mars. It's really going crazy. Mars is energizing Jupiter to go ham. Okay? To go ham. It's like, yes, do you. And it's like, you get a car, you get a car, you get a car. It's giving. We can't have all these cars on the road because they're going to crash. No, I'm just kidding. But Mars is energizing Jupiter. And then Mars and Saturn don't get along. So just think Mars is like the go, go, go. I don't think, I'm just going to go. I'm going to get shit done. I don't care what havoc I wreak in the process of getting done what I need to get done and getting what I want. And Saturn is and it's young energies. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm ready to go. And Saturn is the old, like, gray beard. No. You cannot. You need to calm down. And so on the 16th, Mars squares Saturn, agitating Saturn. Like, nah. Look what I did. I set Jupiter off, and this is going to piss you off. So that's adding fuel to the fire. Okay. But again, Saturn is like, never mind who you thought I was. I'm Saturn, bitch. You are not getting away with this. You're not. Okay? You're not. So it's a lot of stuff going on. And that is what makes this energy so crazy. It is like, we don't know really like what is going to happen. But again, like, we got to be prepared. And at the end of the day, this energy is going to bring us to our better selves, and what it is it's going to make us that much closer, because we are supposed to evolve. We are supposed to grow, and at the end of the day, this energy is helping us to do that. How are you going to use it? How is it affecting you in your chart? Well, we about to get into that right now. What is going on, my dear Pisces? So what does the planetary energy have for you during this August 19th, 2024 full moon in Aquarius? Well, yes, the energy is thick, it's potent, it's crazy, it's a lot going on. And if I have not expressed to you already, it's super powerful because it's a super full moon, and that energy is energizing every other planetary conversation that is happening in the sky. So how is it going to affect you, Pisces? That's exactly what we're talking about right now. So first off, as of the 18th, we have Mercury Well, we have Mercury retrograde. And so Mercury actually has been retrograde since August the 4th in the sign of Leo. And on the 18th, Mercury is retrograde, so an element of the past, is going to square Uranus and Taurus. This is happening in your sixth and your third house. So your sixth house is where Leo is and is where Mercury is, and your third house is where Uranus is sitting. So what is the sixth house? Well, first of all, what does Mercury deal with? Mercury deals with our thought processes. It deals with our ideas, information that is conscious and subconscious to us. It deals with groups, it deals with siblings, it deals with neighbors, it deals with short trips, it deals with how we express ourselves, communications of all kinds, email, written communication, how we exchange ideas and information with others, how we actually learn to exchange ideas and information with others. That is in the sign of Leo in your sixth house, and sixth house has to do with your work and job responsibilities as opposed to your career. So it's the mundane day-to-day activities there. It's techniques and methods like daily life, your order, schedules, your health, nutrition, your attitude toward all of those things, co-workers, right? Pets, and how organized or not you are. That's what the sixth house deals with. And it's squaring Uranus, and Uranus in your third house. And Uranus rules the internet. It rules the airwaves. It rules humanity. Uranus has a sudden, shocking quality to it, a disruptive quality to it. For better or worse, this doesn't necessarily mean bad. It just means that it happens suddenly and quickly. It rules lightning, shocking events. It rules earthquakes. It rules the breaking apart in that it wants to free us and give us freedom from things that does not serve us. It rules or can rule rebellions. I call Uranus the wake up, shake up energy planet, okay? Because it brings that type of chaos and erratic energy to the areas that it is affecting. And so that's in your third house. That also has to do with communication. So double for you, because communication, third house matters, is ruled by Mercury, and that's interactions with the immediate environment. Like I said, siblings in your early environment, your neighbors' thoughts, short trips, writing, speaking, all those things, media and communication related. Also business transactions, squaring Mercury in the third house. I totally don't think that this is as bad as it could be. And the reason why I don't think it's as bad as it could be is because, one, Uranus is in Taurus, it's in a weakened position. And so it can't give us its full smoke that it could give us because it's weak right now in Taurus. It does not like to be there. Second, Mercury is in Leo. The sun is in Leo. Leo is at home. I'm sorry, the sun is at home in Leo because it rules Leo. And so when the sun is at home, we're getting all of the good qualities, everything good that the sun has to offer. The sun is behaving very nicely. So we're happy, we're joyful, we're energetic, we're dignified, we're confident, we're standing in our leadership qualities, like we're bossing up, like we are magnificent in our life force. We're doing the damn thing because sun is giving us all of that. Leo, it loves to be in Leo, and Mercury is there, and it will join the sun. And typically when a planet joins the sun, we say it's combust if it's too close. So the qualities of that planet can't really be made manifest. We can't really feel it because that planet is weakened by being burnt by the sun because it's too close. But hey, not in this case. No. Mercury will be in its full power, or close to its full power, although it's retrograde and making us go over things and get information we might have missed, because it's getting energized. It's getting all things good from the sun. And we call this a cazimi because it's far enough to where it's not being burned. And so this cazimi is auspicious. It brings blessings. So whatever blessings Mercury can bestow upon you, it's going to do it because it's getting that energy from the sun. And then it's being squared by Mercury in the house that Uranus in the house that from the house that Mercury rules. That is not bad. And what that means is that you're going to be getting information, right? Mercury, that might have been missed and hidden from you, and that you can implement Mercury retrograde, because it's making you go over that you did not have before, so that you can make informed decisions with regards to the house that it's in, your sixth house. So you're going to be getting good information that you can move forward to implement great health routines, that health information that you wanted or that you were seeking. Maybe you're getting some results at this time, and it's good news. You're able to put a self-improvement plan in order, and you got just the right news that you needed to get, and you can implement it suddenly. You can do it right away because boom, you got the information that you needed from Uranus sudden, right? And you might seem a little bit chaotic and a little bit erratic and all over this, but that's because you're super happy because it's good news. You might have thought it was going to be bad news, but instead you got the news that you wanted to get. Now, I don't necessarily know. I'm not seeing everybody's chart, so I don't know if you have aspects there that's negatively affecting it, but generally speaking, I don't think that it's that bad because of that strong position of the sun and what Mercury is the blessings Mercury is bringing for you. Now, that happened on August the 18th, or is happening on August the 18th. August the 19th, the day of the actual full moon, we got a lot of energy happening on that day, and it's being extremely energized by this powerful supermoon. It's a supermoon because that moon is close to us and it's rare. So the rarer and the closer the energies is to us, the stronger we actually feel it. And so Virgo on the 19th, or Venus is in Virgo on the 19th in your seventh house. Venus does not like to be in Virgo, but Venus rules the seventh house for you too. So, what does Venus rule? Venus rules luxury. It rules beauty. It rules comforts in life. It rules our money. It rules our relationships and resources. Doesn't like to be in Virgo because it can't express its highest ideals, its highest qualities in Virgo because it's choked and overly criticized by nagging Virgo, and it said that it's in detriment or it's in a weakened position when it's in Virgo. It doesn't like it, but perhaps it's not going to be too weak because it's in the house that it's ruled, so it gets a little oomph from that. But then it's squared by Jupiter in Gemini from your fourth house. Jupiter doesn't like to be in Gemini. It's also in a weakened state in Gemini. It doesn't like to be in Gemini. And so when Jupiter is in Gemini, it can be overly optimistic. It can be overindulgent. It can be, just irresponsible and blindly optimistic and not giving us those good manifestations that we would normally get. But maybe not so bad because after all, Jupiter is benefic. But when these two square, what that means is that we're overdoing something that's not so great. So Venus is being overdone in the seventh house. So how is your partner like overly critical? How are you guys just not maybe having fun, right? Like, how are you just scheduling everything to a fault where it takes the spontaneity out of things? Like, it's just being ridiculously overdone in that area. Like, how is your contract not serving you because it's just asking for too much that's just in excess of what you should be given. Well, this is going to be quickly shown to you when Venus is opposed by Saturn in your first house. So Saturn is trying to bring order from your first house, and it's you that's putting the kibosh on because Saturn is with you. So you're like, no. Like, I had enough is enough. We need to have boundaries. We need to have more rules in place, or we need to fix whatever is going on in this seventh house. By establishing some more rules and order here. You're going to be doing that, and you're going to be shown how to do that through Saturn there, and you're going to be able to quickly get that done because this is a quick, Venus is a fast moving planet, and it's going to happen quickly. Now, moving on, also in the 19th, we're getting to that full moon. So what is an actual full moon? A full moon is an opposition. That's and what is an opposition? An opposition is when two planets sit across the sky from one another 180 degrees and they have a conversation. And that conversation can bring about good energy through friendly conversations, depending on how the planets like each other, or get along with each other, or it could be a very stressful struggle bus conversation because they don't get along, and it's arguments and it's fighting and all of that stuff. I don't think that this is going to be a fight, though, because number one, the sun, like we talked about, is in Leo, and your fifth house, and the sun is strong right now, and it's in good energy, so it's blasting all of that to the moon. And what is the moon? The moon is where we hold our deepest, innermost thought processes and ideals of life, and what is relevant to the house that it's in when it's there. So what are our secret dreams of that house? What are our secret ideals? What are our instincts and hunches? What is our ideal of ourselves and the experiences that we want to have with regards to that house? So the fifth house, so this is across, so that's in your 11th house of goals and your true inner purpose and your hopes and wishes and your friendships, and like that's where the moon is. So what are your highest ideals with regards to that house? It's being extremely energized by the goodness of the sun, and it's a public display. So it's like when the sun blasts its energy, it's making all of that known to the public, and it's giving you that energy to call forth and to bring forth and to make manifest those ideals in your house of true inner purpose. That is an amazing thing. I don't think that that's bad at all. It might come forth as erratic and all over the place because the energies from the full moon is raw and untamed and is bursting forward for the first time, and you don't have control of it, but it's giving good. It's giving good because the sun is strong right now. And yet, too, it's being squared by Uranus in Taurus, so from your third house. And so what ideas, like what information are you going to be getting so you can pull forth those highest ideals of the 11th house? That's what you're dealing with right now. And again, like I said, I don't think that it's a bad thing, although it could be because squares do bring forth uncomfortable energy. But where you find the strength that you didn't know that you had to bring this stuff forward? That's what's going on here. You will find strength. Don't run, don't hide, have courage and take the strength so you can become who you need to become to realize those things. That's what the squares ask you. What is the solution of getting this thing called forward, right? So yeah, that's what's going on with the full moon for you. And so on the same day, we are going to have a really huge aspect and this or conversation in the sky between Jupiter and Gemini, your fourth house, and Saturn and Pisces in your first house. And this energy between Saturn and Jupiter has been going on since 2020 when they were conjunct in December of 2020. And when two planets come together, an idea is formed and of an experience or something that you want to make manifest. A seed is planted. So when two planets come together, think of the mother and father coming together to make a baby, a seed. So what is this seed that you planted with Jupiter and Saturn coming together, right? When they come together, the seed is planted. When they oppose each other, that's when the fruits of that thing is made manifest. They haven't done that yet. And so when the square happens, the halfway position, it shows you all that is wrong or all that needs to be done away with regards to that idea. And it might not show itself in the greatest way because maybe you didn't have the right thought process in place with regard to bringing it forward. And so it's showing you unpleasantly maybe how and what is not working with that seed that was planted. And then you get a chance to fix it in the way that you need to fix. You need to, during this square, get rid of what is not working. It wants to get rid of what is not working and give you what does work. And you are being called to find your strength to get rid of what is not working and to make manifest or to bring forward what does work for you. And sometimes that's not the easiest. But guess what? When we have strong or unpleasant experiences or uncomfortable experiences, sometimes that is where we find the depths of who we are. That is where we are made. And so how are you being made? How is your strength being called forward? That's what you have to figure out between this first house and fourth house square that's happening, Saturn in your first house. And I really do think that you're the one who is putting the boundaries in place so that that fourth house, that house of security and comfort is in a way or aligned in a way that's best for you. And so don't be scared, don't run, don't hide. Take strength, take courage, and be brave and deal with this energy. Find your strength. You will become better because of it, because that's what these aspects calls us to do. So you do that, right? And you know what's going on now. You're prepared. And because you're prepared, you can be composed. And the composed always win. It is the one who is not erratic and acting all strange that wins. So you keep your composure. You have the power to do that now because you're informed. And so if it starts to rain, metaphorically speaking, put on your umbrella. You've been equipped with your umbrella, your rain boots, and your rain jacket, and you can continue forward, right? If you're called to battle, you have been equipped, you have been prepared with your sword, your shield, and you can go, okay? So that said, I hope you learned something here. Let me know in the comments how you're handling this energy, because I know it's not handling you. I really want to have that conversation with you guys. And if you got anything, like and subscribe if you haven't already, and come back and join our conversations. I'd love to have you. And until next time, keep your hearts open and your spirits connected, guys. Ciao for now.